March 8th is International Women's Day. The declaration was made by United Nations in 1977. International Women's Day honors women's achievement, advocate for gender equality, and empower women to take part in activities as equal as men. This is an opportunity to imagine a gender equal world, a world free of bias, stereotypes, and discrimination, a world that is diverse, equitable, and inclusive, a world where difference is valued and celebrated. International Women's Day belongs to everyone, everywhere. My first ever speech in front of an audience was for International Women's Day. There was a ladies' club in our neighborhood. That is where retired professional women in our town meet in the evenings. These will be doctors, lawyers, journalists, industry leaders to discuss books, politics, and wind their day by playing games. Card games and badminton. Those were the games. Since their theme was women welfare and empowerment, they wanted to celebrate Women's Day when United Nations declared the International Women's Day. They wanted to celebrate this by having some speeches from various age groups to get the pulse, play some games, and celebrate women and girls. They were able to lock in speakers from various age groups. There were speakers from teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, but they were not able to find any speaker under the age of 10. If you know, March is the month where annual exams are held in schools all across India. So it was difficult to get an elementary school aged speaker. Word of mouth reached my mom and asking whether I could be that speaker under the age of 10. I was just 6 at that time. My mother agreed on one condition. She does not have time to prepare me for a speech. Whatever I say, it will be extempore. That is similar to our table topics. My mother dropped me off the venue on March 8th, neatly dressed, and told me the topic. It is International Women's Day today. You have to talk about how women's contributions are as equal or more than equal in the society than men. So women should be treated equally and paid equal to men. As my name was called out and I entered the stage, that is the podium, my mind was blank. I started with thanking the organizers for the opportunity to speak, because that is what the previous speakers did. Then I paused for a moment. Nothing came from my mouth. As I took a deep breath, an incident popped in my mind. It was an incident about the cow in our house. We were raising cows for milk, and I helped in the farm chores. I really liked my cow. Her name was Nandini. And she was like a friend to me. Every morning, I give her hay and enjoy my grandma bathing her. I put a bindi on her forehead and say bye to her before I go to school because she was my buddy. One day, Nandini was very restless. She was not happy when I touched her. I asked my grandma what was happening. Grandma said she will have a calf soon and she's preparing to be a responsible mother, protecting her calf and some. That's why she is anxious and restless. With the story of the cow, my grandma shared her story when she married my grandfather at the age 15 and moved in with grandpa and in-laws and to raise a family. The moral of the story was Girls are born and raised to be resilient and strong, to be taking care of everything, whether it is in their families or at their workplace. They are always prepared to find their partner, move in with them, and adjust to new circumstances. Thus, nature prepares them to be resilient and flexible. And I have to give a cultural footnote here. Most of the Indian families are joint families. Grandparents, parents, and children live in the same household. And after marriage, usually the bride moves in with the groom's family. So there is so much adjustments that needs to be made from the bride side. This story came into mind. I gave the speech on how women are adaptable, resilient, and always planning the next steps and take more share of work than they can handle. And concluded the speech with, if women give more than fair share for building a family, for building a career, contributing to the workplace, why should they not be paid equally? My speech was received with standing ovation. Nobody thought a 6-year-old would deliver a speech with content without scripts or help from parents or teacher. Now, 45 years later, I still echo the same sentiment. There are many countries where there is no gender equity for jobs, roles in society, and pay. Women's freedom relies in hand of men and society in a lot of countries. As I'm involved in women's encouragement and upliftment, I see strides being made in some fronts, but not on some topics like women's right to choose, which is going backward. If you look in United States, women entering higher studies in universities has surpassed the number of men. The wage gap is slowly closing, but we have not produced a female president in the United States. I will conclude with the same thought I started with. Let us take this opportunity to imagine a gender equal world, a world free of bias, stereotypes, and discrimination, a world that is diverse, equitable, and inclusive, a world the difference is valued and celebrated. International Women's Day belongs to everyone, everywhere. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Back to you.